Happy new month Nakuru, and welcome to the Nakuru TV weekly news roundup. It is Sunday the 1st of June 2025 and Madaraka Day here in Kenya. It's the day that we Kenyans commemorate and remember that day in 1963 when we attained internal self-rule after being a British colony since 1920. My name is Patrick Kinyo Prince and this is the news. President William Ruto delivered a stirring Madaraka Day speech at Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay, celebrating Kenya's 62nd year of self-governance. Here are the key highlights. President Ruto hailed Kenya's economic stride, projecting the nation's GDP to reach $132 billion, solidifying its position as East Africa's largest economy. He credited the bottom-up economic transformation agenda for creating jobs and boosting local industries with a special focus on the blue economy. In Homa Bay, which holds 80% of Kenya's share of Lake Victoria, Ruto outlined plans to develop fish landing sites, provide skills training for fishermen, and promote conservation to drive economic growth, tourism, and food security. The president also celebrated a central bank rate cut from 13% to 10%, making borrowing easier for small businesses. He noted that foreign exchange reserves have climbed to $10 billion, extending import cover from 2.5 to 4 months, a sign of economic stability. Ruto closed with calls for unity and action, promising to deliver results and ensure no Kenya is left behind.
I thank you, Mr. President, and Your Excellency Baba, for coming together to ensure that no Kenyan is left behind through this broad-based arrangement. This is how we will tackle the challenges confronting us, by having everyone on board the Kenya prosperity ship.
We are also creating a more inclusive Kenya.
People should be united without any discrimination on the basis of gender, the basis of tribe, the basis of religion, and of the basis of culture. This is what our founding fathers wanted. I want today to say that we should do compensation to families of those who died and those who were injured, so that we can have a closure to this chapter of our national history today. We want Kenyans to live in peace and in unity.
Ile kazi bila break ndio tunachapa. Ni kweli ama si kweli, watu wa Homa Bay? Tuendelee ama tuendelee?
Nakuru County marked 62 years of self-rule with a vibrant Madaraka Day celebration at Heroes Technical Vocational College in Bahati Sub-County, led by Governor Susan Keheka. The event was a colorful display of patriotism with performances from various groups capturing the spirits of Madaraka. Governor Keheka reflected on Nakuru's remarkable progress, highlighting the county's leadership in food, milk, and potato production, alongside restoration of Lake Naivasha and growth in the blue economy. She emphasized advancements in healthcare with 50 new Level 4 hospitals, over 3,000 health workers hired, and a steady supply of medicine. Farmers are thriving with access to seedlings, subsidized fertilizers, and artificial insemination services. The Kenya shillings 100 million Wezesha Fund and modern market infrastructures are empowering youth and traders, while education has seen boosts with recruited ECD teachers, expanded classrooms, and Kenya shillings 432 million in bursaries. The governor was joined by Deputy Governor David Kones, Bahati MP Irene Joki, Nakuru Town East MP David Gekaria, County Commissioner Loiford Kibara, MCAs, and other leaders.
So now we are going to have 15 level 4 hospitals. Nilipoingia katika kuwa governor wa Nakuru, nikasema every sub-county must have a level 4 hospital. Na nilipokuja kwa hii, mliponipatia kazi, nikakuta Subukia haikuwa na level 4, Kuresoi North haikuwa nayo. Wako hapa leo CHPs, nawaona. Na washukuru na nawatambua sana. Sawa, kwa ile kazi mnafanya katika within our communities. We appreciate you and we shall continue to support you. Katika Wezesha funds za county, Sijui kama mliona nikilaunch funds za 100 million katika county. Simuliziona? Some of you here were beneficiaries. Hizo pesa ni za kuwapatia nyinyi kama groups, kama circles, kama cooperatives na self-help groups, so that vile nilisema nilipoingia kwa kazini, kazi ni kazi na lazima tuendelee kuwa support ili muwe na capital ya kuendelea kufanya kazi zenyu, muwe na access to loans without paying too much interest. Kwa sababu nilisema when we came into government tukiwa na Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, tulikuja hapa Nakuru tukafanya economic forum na tukaona one of the biggest problems yenye inafanya biashara zikufe ama zishindwe kugrow ni kwa sababu ya very high interest loans zenye mlikuwa mnachukua kutoka kwa Shylocks. Kwa hivyo nawaambia mkaribie, tuko na hiyo pesa, bado pesa imebaki. Tuliweza kupatia some cooperatives 5 million including moja hapa Subuki ya Suku cooperative, zingine huko Kuresoi, wengine hapa Bahati, Nakuru Town, Gilgil, Naivasha. Msibaki nyuma tafadhali, Rongai and everywhere. So there is still money na tuna partner na KCB na wamesema mkichukua hiyo 100 million yote na muweze kulipa ili another group inaipata. Hiyo tuko na very low interest ya 6% for the cooperatives na 8% for the entrepreneurs. Na mnajua kwa bank ni 18% na that is even assuming mtapewa, kwa sababu pia nimeona Nakuru tuko wengi kwa CRB. So we need to repay so that we get more money. So KCB wamesema mimi nikiweka 100 million mchukue na muweze kuilipa, watanipee 500 times what I put. Kwa hivyo nikiweka 100 million wananipea 500 million zenyu za kuchukua. Na mimi wakinipea 500 million niongeze zangu from 100 million niziweke 200 million, tutakuwa na 1 billion shillings ya watu wa Nakuru kuweza kuchukua.
The Nakuru Trade Expo 2025 that was held from Thursday 29th May to Saturday 31st May at the Rift Valley Sports Club wrapped up successfully, bringing together over 100 exhibitors in a vibrant celebration of innovation. The expo showcased breakthroughs in agriculture, technology, manufacturing, and creative arts. BizLink's marketing executive director and one of the event planners, Mr. Joseph Namai, noted the event's success in highlighting cutting-edge technologies, enabling local businesses to compete on a global stage. Young entrepreneurs captivated audiences, pitching bold ideas to investors, while discussions on public-private partnerships and sustainable practices emphasized Nakuru's potential as an agri-business powerhouse. County Executive Committee member for Trade, Stephen Kuria, highlighted Nakuru's investor-friendly tax policies, reinforcing its appeal to local and international investors. With over 6,000 attendees, the expo sparked new business opportunities and collaborations.
Nia yetu ni kuweza kuleta wanabiashara pamoja kutoka sekta mbalimbali, wale ambao wana ubunifu wa mambo tofauti, wale ambao wamekuwa kwa biashara kwa muda mrefu, wale ambao wana invent vitu zingine ambazo hatujaweza kuona kwa hii kaunti yetu. Tunataka kuleta hizi sekta zote, wale wanabiashara wadogo ambao wanaanza na wale wamekolea kwa biashara, wote tunawaleta hapa ndio waweze kushirikiana na hizi biashara ziweze kuendelea. Na maana sisi ni watu wa Nakuru, tunataka kuona hii kaunti pia ikiweza kuleta investors zaidi tukielekea kule.
And today I'm very delighted as the CEC in charge of trade in Nakuru County to see the kind of exhibition that is going on here. We are very happy because also we have played a very big role, and Governor Susan Keka also promised in her manifesto that she's going to make sure that she's creating an enabling business environment for our businesses to grow and thrive and of course prosper. And this is a very, very good event to showcase that, to network, bring people together so that they can also exchange ideas. Therefore, as a county and as a department, we feel very delighted to have partnered with our partners here in showcasing this Trade Expo for 2025.
On 29th May 2025, Nakuru County Governor Susan Keheka launched the Kenya shillings 100 million Wezesha Fund at ATC Soilo, a game-changing initiative to empower small-scale traders and cooperatives. The Nakuru County Enterprise and Cooperative Funds offers loans from 50,000 shillings to 200,000 at a low interest rate of 8% for enterprise and 6% for cooperatives. During the launch, 21 million shillings was disbursed to cooperatives including Olenguruoni's Farmers and Sokoro Sacco, and 16.19 million to self-help groups and traders like Nax West Boda Boda Group. Governor Kihika urged beneficiaries to manage the funds wisely and repay promptly to ensure more residents benefit. The initiative fulfills a pledge to boost local economic development and create jobs, positioning Nakuru as a hub for grassroots empowerment.
The transport sector circles, community health providers, karibu sana our CHPs na watambua, to our farmers, be it in milk, coffee, tea, avocado, potatoes, tomatoes, pyrethrum, and everything else that we grow in this county, to stand up and walk the journey of enterprise development. To entrench these two funds, we have ensured that they are anchored on funds acts and regulations that have been approved by the County Assembly of Nakuru. Oversight will be provided by a multi-stakeholder fund boards supported by the Department of Trade, Cooperative, Tourism and Culture. My government has so far allocated a total of 100 million towards these funds. We will be enhancing allocations to the funds in the coming years. Obviously, also based on your repayments. To ensure the two funds are in line with the goal of deepening access to seed money by MSMEs and cooperatives, the County Enterprise Fund is accessible to groups at an interest of 8% per annum, and currently we are issuing the affordable loans ranging between 50,000 to 200,000. On the other hand, the Cooperative Revolving Fund is accessible to cooperatives at an interest rate of 6% per annum, and SACCOs can apply for loans ranging from 200,000 to 5 million shillings. As we launch these funds today, 6 cooperatives have so far qualified for disbursement of 21 million shillings. 95 groups have so far qualified for disbursement of 16 million shillings. Many more applications are undergoing appraisal and the subsequent processing of the loans. And as you have heard from KCB themselves, the money is already there. It was waiting for this, and you can walk to the bank and get the money. For effective and professional management of the funds, we have partnered with KCB for proper appraising and disbursement of the loans. These revolving funds and the loanees are expected to repay the whole amounts loaned to them so that others can benefit from the funds.
Nakuru Town West MP Samuel Arama distributed bursary checks worth 27 million shillings to support day scholars in the constituency, marking a significant boost to education in the region. The event held in Nakuru saw MP Arama joined by Deputy County Commissioner, Assistant County Commissioner, chiefs, parents, and key education stakeholders. Governor Susan Keheka was represented by the County Executive Committee Member for Trade, Stephen Kuria, and Political Advisor, Mr. Joroge. The bursaries aim to ease financial burdens for families, ensuring students can continue their education. Parents, visibly grateful, praised Nakuru West NGCDF Leadership Committee for proving its commitment to education and pledged support for area MP Samuel Arama and his exemplary leadership and dedication to the community.
Nakuru West Secondary School imepata 3,558,000 makofi. Moi Secondary School wacha nisema hapo kuja kuchukua. Moi Secondary School imepata 2.9 million. Tumaini House imepata 2.8 million. Afra imepata 2.7. Kenyatta Secondary School imepata 2.5. Ranga ile shule inafanya mzuri zaidi 2.3 million. Nakuru Day Secondary School imepata 1.9. Mwariki Secondary School imepata 1.3. Nimefurahi sana Mwariki kwa sababu Mwariki ni watu yangu sana. At least leo wamepata pesa, hata mimi nimefurahi. Kwa sababu wakipata namna hii mimi najua Mwariki ni tunaita tarakaniti. Hao ndio wale wanapiga kura bila kuuliza wewe ni chama gani. Hao wanapiga kura tu wanataka maendeleo. Hata niliwapelekea rami huko wanaenda kuangalia.
Residents of Bahati constituency in Nakuru will this week gather for a critical security meeting to address rising concerns over local safety. The meeting that will be held in Bahati will bring together MP Irene Njoki, security officials and residents from Bahati's 5 wards, which are Dodori, Kabatini, Kiamaina, Lanet Umoja and Bahati wards. This comes after incidents like the tragic murder of a Form 2 student earlier this year, which prompted MP Njoki to demand swift investigations. Residents are calling for increased police patrols, community policing programs, and efforts to tackle youth unemployment, seen as a key driver of insecurity. MP Irene Njoki has reaffirmed her commitment to improving safety and development through ongoing infrastructure and youth empowerment projects. Locals are encouraged to attend and voice their concerns to help shape a safer Bahati. A heartbreaking tragedy has struck Nakuru County, where an 8-year-old boy, Maxwell Ndumia, lost his life while heroically trying to save his younger brother from a brutal knife attack by a neighbor. The incident, which occurred in Barnabas Estate, has left the community in shock and mourning. On the 23rd of May, Maxwell and his 4-year-old brother, Brighton Minor, were attacked at their aunt's home. According to their aunt, Teresia Modoni, the suspect, a man known to the family, inflicted severe injuries. Maxwell succumbed to a deep neck wound at Nakuru Teaching and Referral Hospital, while Brighton, who sustained cuts to his neck and shoulders, is recovering. The suspect fled with a 3-year-old girl, allegedly attempting to assault her before being apprehended by police after a local woman raised alarm. Nakuru East Sub-County Police Commander Samson Nadaje confirmed the suspect was arraigned in court with investigations ongoing. The community is grieving the loss of Maxwell, described by his aunt as a kind soul who dreamed of becoming a bishop.
Na tutaenda pamoja turudi. Asanteni.
Chaos erupted in Nakuru town's central business district on Thursday, 29th May, as armed matatu operators took matters into their own hands, chasing away suspected thieves from a busy matatu stage. The dramatic confrontation has sparked both concern and debate among residents. Reports indicate that transport operator, frustrated by repeated thefts targeting passengers and their businesses, confronted a group of suspected thieves at a key matatu terminus. Armed with makeshift weapons, the operator pursued the suspects through the CBD, causing panic and disrupting normal activities. Eyewitnesses say the scene was chaotic, with commuters scrambling for safety as the chase unfolded. Local police intervened swiftly, dispersing crowds and restoring calm. Authorities are investigating the incidents and have urged the public to report the crimes through official channels rather than resorting to vigilante action. Nakuru County officials have also called for enhanced security measures at matatu stages to prevent future incidents. Residents are divided, with some praising the operators for defending their livelihoods, while others warn of dangers of such confrontation.
Kuna wezi sana wamejaa Nakuru town. Wezi wamekuwa wengi katika Nakuru town. Ndio unaona tuko na hawa watu wetu, tunajaribu tuweze kusafisha huu mji wetu wa Nakuru town ili town iwe safi, watu wanaposafiri wawe salama. Hii inaitwa Operation Angamiza Mikora. Operation Angamiza Mikora, linda Nakuru. Tunahitaji town iwe safi. Enda ingia kwa gari kama uko kwa mwaki. Enda haraka wewe.
The Nakuru chapter of the Democracy for Citizens Party, or DCP, held a vibrant aspirants forum in Nakuru County, rallying behind their leader, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The event, held in Joro yesterday, saw party aspirants and supporters come together to strategize for the 2027 elections. The forum focused on strengthening DCP's presence in Nakuru, with aspirants urging Kenyans to join the party and support its vision of inclusive leadership. Party members emphasized their commitments to addressing issues like poor governance, high taxation, and youth unemployment, echoing Gashagua's calls to listen to Kenyans. DCP Nakuru chapter also called for respect for Gachagua, condemning recent disruptions at party events, including a chaotic incident at their May 15th launch in Nairobi and a rally in Kakamega. They accused opponents of trying to portray DCP as a tribal outfit, a claim Gachagua has firmly rejected. With the party's official launch set for June 4th, DCP is ramping up its nationwide mobilization, aiming to challenge the ruling United Democratic Alliance in 2027. A tragic update from Nakuru, where 23-year-old M-Pesa agent Hannah Waithera was found dead on May 28, 2025, a week after she went missing. Waithera, who operated a mobile money shop in Nakuru CBD, was last seen on May 21st, heading to deposit over 250,000 in a bank. Her family reported her disappearance to the Central Police Station, sparking a search. Her decomposing body was later discovered in a maize plantation in Joro, following reports of a foul smell, with some sources indicating it was found near a dam. The case, initially a missing persons report, has now turned into a murder investigation. Police are probing the circumstances of her death, with Waithera's phone last active in Kijabe, raising questions about what happened. The Nakuru community is in shock, demanding justice for the young woman.
Wewe, si uniletea niongee na Sera. Nimwambie akuje, hajakufa, nimeona hajakufa. Sera hajakufa. Sitaipia nyasi ya kule mimi. Sitaipia mtoto wangu nyasi ya kule. Iye. Mtanizaidi. Wajibi.
East. Leo tumekuwa tukifanya follow up ya msichana ambaye aliyepotea, mmoja wa driver wetu bibi. So na tumeweza kumpata pale kwa Jack. Na saizi tuko mahali kunaitwa police station ya Kaptembwa, that is west. Na police station ya Kaptembwa wametupea some details na wakatuambia tunafaa kwenda Nakuru Central, sababu hapo ndio ripoti ya kwanza ilifanyika, na kama kawaida serikali zetu zimeweza kutenga hizi mambo na police station, wameweza kuzitenga kulingana na wao venye wanaelewa. So wakatuambia sisi tunafaa kwenda pale pale Nakuru Central ili tuweze kufanya follow up ambayo imebaki.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let me first of all take this opportunity to welcome you all to this creative town hall meeting, which will be discussing the Finance Bill 2025. But maybe before we go on and we go a little bit further, I would like all of us to stand so that we may have our national anthem before we start. So karibuni sana, we stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you. I will be hosting this conversation for today. But it is me hosting and all of us engaging in this conversation. So mjisikie mkiwa pahali ambapo sisi wote tunafaa kuengage kwa hii conversation. Si sawa sawa? So with me here, I have someone who will be of great help to all of us. Before he introduces himself, I want to say that the Finance Bill 2025 is here, and the reason why the conversation is important, it is because it is our civic duty, it is obligation yetu sisi wote ku-engage in this conversation na kuchangia kwa maoni na kwa yale yote ambayo yanafanyika katika that bill, so that we can have the best bill, even if haita kwenda vile wewe unataka, but you would have given your conversation, you would have given your input, and so welcome you all. So karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Moses. Kwa majina naitwa Stanley Kimaru Moshiri. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I work with the firm of Gatitu Moshiri and Company Advocates, located right in this building, the 5th floor. As Mose has just said, we are here as citizens, first of all, to execute and to administer our right as the sovereign in this very important process of analyzing the Finance Bill, which will now turn into the Finance Act in the course of next month. So I'm also here to learn from you, as much as I am a legal practitioner and will be helping you deciphering the subject document. I'm also here to learn from you as a citizen and as a great member of this city of ours, of Nakuru. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, a round of applause. Thank you very much, Wakili. And those watching us from home, our YouTube channel, Nakuru TV, Facebook Live, Nakuru TV. Join us also in this conversation. Give us your feedback, write something, and we will be using the hashtag Creative Economy Town Hall and also Finance Bill 2025. These are the two hashtags that we are using today. Again, Creative Economy Town Hall and hashtag Finance Bill 2025. So if you're watching us from the digital space, follow us, be with us, kuwa pamoja na sisi na to make sure that tumepeana feedback zetu, kwa sababu sio za bure tu, ni feedback ambazo zitaenda hata hapo mbele. We will have a memorandum after this. We will have the solution for Finance Bill 2025, specifically 2 sections that we'll be tackling today. So karibuni sana. At home, feel loved and make sure that you be with us. Sawa sawa, yeah? Secondly, I would wish to welcome someone very important and very vital kwa this anaitwa Samuel Njoroge. Samuel Njoroge will be introducing us to this space. Sisi ambao tumekuja mara ya kwanza hapa, this is Baraza Media Lab, na Baraza Media Lab wako represented na Samuel Njoroge. Samuel Njoroge, karibu and tell us more about Baraza Media Lab. Welcome.
Privileged, thank you. And they've been privileged to be beneficiaries of Baraza Media Lab. So Baraza Media Lab started off in Nairobi back in the year 2020 with just but a few 3 members, and over the time the team has really grown, and we are now scaling out from Nairobi to other county levels, and that is Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, Turkana, and Kakamega. And reason being is because we want to bridge all these opportunities from Nairobi, from Sijui Wapi, and we start bridging them into these spaces. We want also to break that barrier, whereas, or rather that notion where we get to say oftenly that for any given artist, any given media practitioner, for you to succeed, lazima uenda wapi? Lazima uenda wapi? Always succeedia hapa? Is it possible to succeedia hapa? So also through the help of other skilling partners like Sanara. How many of you have heard about Sanara? So Sanara is also one of our key skilling partner. Sanara is a prefix for Sana na Biashara, whereby creatives and media pros are undergoing like an intensive workshop whereby they can get to understand their skills in deep context and to monetize that skill, a way that they will also earn from that particular skill. So Sanara is also a part of our skilling partner, and we are looking forward to having you every now and then at the space. So the space basically is for creatives, the media, and more the community. You are the community right now, since you are here for this particular discussion. Give him a coffee tafadhali. Asanteni sana. Now, maybe just to unwind kidogo. Now, why should we have like this finance bill, or rather this creative town hall, in a creative space? Majority of creatives and media elites don't get to understand how our political space usually run. You know, like our day-to-day activity is being led politically, you know. And the creatives mostly, we usually rant after the bill has been amended, you know. Like we all remember last year, majority of the people who were protesting were masqueraders because they did not know what the finance bill at that particular moment it meant, you know. But now, given that we are in a better position of understanding to grasp whatever it is that we're supposed to grasp today, so that when we start ranting from a point of knowledge, like intellect people. Sio iko sawa? So, tusaidianeni na hawa wenye wako hapa mbele. Let us have conversation. Ask anything that you do not know. Ask anything that you feel waga inakusumbua haujawahi elewa, and then we see how this will affect us, either positively, negatively, and directly or rather indirectly. So karibuni sana sana sana, and make sure mmekuwa members wa baraza. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you, Moses.
Tumpigie makofi vizuri. Wale wa nyuma peke yake tuwapigie makofi mazuri tu. Aya, na wambele pia tumpigie makofi. Asante sana. Now, thank you Baraza Media for giving us this space for us to host these, and for also maybe hata kwa ile kuzungumzia hili jambo hili likaweza kufanyika. Thank you very much Baraza Media. Speciality pia kubwa sana tupatie Nakuru TV because of airing these. Kuna wale watu ambao wangependa kujoin into this conversation lakini hawayuko hapa, wako mitaani. We also give a round of applause to Nakuru TV. Thank you very much. Thank you Nakuru TV. Now, unajua kuna vitu Sami ameongelea hapa aka Priest. They are very complex for you to read by yourself and for you to understand. Maybe utasoma ufikirie, hey, what is this digital taxation? Why are they taxing the digital people? Why are they interested in taxing even hata wasanii bwana amusamehei wasanii? No. That is why we are here today, so that if it is a good thing for them to tax whatever it is that they want to tax, we talk about it. If it is something that we can discuss, we will discuss it, and at the end of the day, we will give our memoranda. Si sawa sawa? Si ni sawa sawa? Are we going to do this conversation together? Thank you very much. Now, I want to give this time and opportunity to Wakili, so that he may take us through what is finance bill, what are these terms used by our mawakili. Unajua wanasemanga mavitu and there sometimes we don't understand. Let him take us through what finance bill is all about. Karibu sana wakili.
Samizana Mose, naniambia wakili a quick one.
Yes, wakili a quick one.
That is okay. So, as I've said earlier, my purpose here today is helping you at least decipher what we have before us is the Finance Bill 2025. But before I go into the in-depth issues dealing with the 2025 Finance Bill, we need to ask ourselves the question, have we actually recovered from the event that we had last year? I don't know if yesterday you recall there was a fracas right here in the middle of town. I think there was some issue that was going on around. The sniff of all that tear gas.
Yes.
It was quite reminiscent for this particular time, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was quite reminiscent for
and
that
it is almost a year ago, so it's anniversary.
Anniversary.
Yes.
I was almost wondering, These sikuwa na occupy mahali kwa ilikuwa imeko dark web na sikuwa naambiwa. I didn't get that. No. So this year when we come to this particular junction, we need to have a retrospect in regards to exactly what we're actually supposed to do. We made history from what we did the other time. So as we take another step, as we take a look at this document today, take pride in the fact that the Subject Finance 2024 bill was withdrawn. And the question that I'll put to you, the mere fact that the Finance Bill 2024 was withdrawn, did it stop any government, the government things to run? Mose, did it stop anything running?
No, I don't think, actually I thought that maybe we'll go dark. Maybe the whole year will be hakuna wanasiasa waendi nje. I thought maybe hata hizi harambee zitakwama because there is no money. I thought even we'll struggle kwa financing even the paying of salaries. Yes.
Everything. So that is a good question now to move forward with. As per every Finance Act, it usually stipulates that if there will be no adoption of any finance bill of that preceding year, the one that was in existence will keep on running.
Okay.
So that is very important to note. Very important to note, because there was a misconception that once that one was withdrawn, nothing would have moved on forward. So the Finance Act of 2023 was used to be able to run the government functions and all those issues. Because that was a unicorn. That was a unicorn event that happened last year. So we come back now to what we have. What is a finance bill? The finance bill ideally is just an omnibus legislation that amends several legislations together. It takes a look at different tax brackets that we have. Some like, sunajua income tax, sunajua VAT, sunajua excise duty, kuna tax procedures, the different tax procedures that are run by the government, run by the county government, run by different institutions like the KRA, ISO. ISO ndo ina, the finance bill usually takes a look at the different strategies that can be used in order to collect the same. And they are all codified in a tax code. And that tax code is put forward via a national tax policy. Tuko pamoja sasa. So the bill itself, when you look at it, usually probably may take a look at it, unaona ina amend, unaona ina link up that it amends. It amends, or it includes, or it inserts. So it usually takes a dig at different, apologies, income tax here. So you see, it usually takes a dig at the different types of taxes that we have. So that is the major distinction between those two. And the finance bill's primary purpose, its primary purpose is to implement the government's fiscal policies, the revenue generating measures for upcoming fiscal year, and it proposes amendments now to the different tax laws, as Vetumesema. All these tax heads, like the income tax, has an act in itself. The value added tax also has its act in itself, as well as the excess duties and many others. Now, as I've said, the amendments that are brought about by a finance bill include adjustment to the tax rates and to the different tax brackets, new taxes or new levies. Watu wamesema hapo kuna wasanii inakuja.
Yeah.
Wamesema hapo hutaki hiyo hata. Hii ndio inaletaga hizi.
Yeah, sure.
Hii ndio inazileta. Inafanya modification of deductions, exemptions, tax credits. It changes the tax administration procedures venye KRA hata tutaona hii pia So the commissioner, hata niki foreshadow, the commissioner says anataka kuwa na nguvu. The commissioner of the Kenya Revenue Authority anataka kuwa na nguvu.
Maybe to ask, when all these amendments are done into tax, the tax laws now.
Yes.
The person who pushes all these things in the Commissioner General wa KRA, yeye ndiye the implementing body.
Yeye ni one of the players. The KRA is just one of the players within that ecosystem of the tax regime, of the tax regime. So him with the National Treasury, also the national government via the Parliament, and also the Senate, they are all inclusive. And also the public themselves, via societies, different formats. So it is usually, as I've said, it encompasses the entire strata of the nation. So as I was saying, as at the particular point, they have issued the subject finance bill. Now, it usually undergoes allegations, whereby at the moment, it's including publication, what we have now, the publication of the document, which we have is the finance bill of 2025, which will move on now to what we are having now, the public participation, where the draft bill is published, the public comments, whatever will come up with at the end of the day here, will now be solicited and being pushed forward to the Parliament. And I believe when our host here was making his opening remarks, when he was saying there were masqueraders on the in the streets 2024.
Yes.
I kind of believe that at the moment, what we had last year, people were highly sensitized to this process. We were highly invested. So ideally, you actually understand the process that we are actually going through. Then after it, the bill will be presented, be introduced in Parliament, subject to a debate, made amendments, then eventual approval. Once that Parliament...
Maybe before you go to the approval, at what point do our views count? At what point, yani tunafikianga saa ngapi wakati malalamishi yetu nawe yanachukuliwa ama proposals zetu zinachukuliwa?
So nakumbuka those different readings that we had, the first reading, second reading, third readings.
Yes.
It is a continuous process of giving out our memoranda in regards to the same. So in the different reading stages of the bill making into an act, our memorandum is being discussed in the same. Then we let our members of Parliament make that decision from our memorandum.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So the finance bill being a big part of shaping Kenya's tax landscape and influencing the business, influence the business environment, because najua here iko na different people from different types of the businesses and everything. Then it creates investment decisions as well, and also the citizens' financial obligations. Now, we move on now to the issue of the legal and regulatory framework that deals with now the finance bill. Aside from the Constitution, there is the Public Finance Management Act. There are laws that are administered by the national government. Sasa ndio closest naona kama hizo za the Income Tax Act, which provides for ascertainment, assessment, and collection of tax on income, on what you get. The value-added tax, it provides for the imposition of value added tax on goods, services made and imported into Kenya. The Excise Duty Act, which provides for the charge, assessment, and collection of excise duty on accessible goods and services. Then we have the Tax Procedures Act. That's what I was telling you about.
Yes.
Yes. So hizo ndio it usually provides for the harmonization and the consideration of procedural rules for the administration of tax laws in Kenya.
Okay.
Further afield, we have now also the East African Community Customs Management. The Act itself, it provides for the management and administration of customs-related matters in the EAC region. Since we are sisi ni jumuiya.
Our finance bill also inakuwa regulated pia na the East African law.
Yes, since sisi tuko kwa jumuiya pia lazima kukuwe na mikakati pia inaangalia pia masuala yetu tukiwa kwa hiyo jumuiya.
Thank you.
So inaangalia yote. So you see how broad the subject document inakuaga.
Yes.
It is very, very broad. And also an important aspect as well is the tax appeals tribunal, the act itself. Easy issues zote za tax, because the finance bill is all about taxation. It's all about taxation. So the dispute of the moderation of those issues lazima ikuwe dealt it with as well. And lastly, our good friends, the Kenya Revenue Authority. The Kenya Revenue Authority also has the act itself, is usually in a deal now sana using this, the finance bill. So in general, I say all those zinakuwa considered while dealing with the finance bill.
Yes.
Tuko pamoja sasa.
Tuko pamoja. I know nimeshikashika vitu kidogo, but generally, what is your view as per the explanation ya taxation? Maybe you have a different view, you have a question, you have an input. If you have anything, you can just say, you can just raise your hand. We will pass over the microphone to you so that you can be able also kuchangia kwa huu mjadala. Si sawa sawa? So in case you have anything maybe to add from what Wakili has said, please feel free na ukue ready pia kupeana mwelekeo wako. Now, hiyo ni overview ya finance bill.
Finance bill, that's just a foundational explanation of a finance bill and the tax code on the national policy on tax in Kenya.
Okay.
What are the laws that are being considered? What are the parameters? So that just was a foundation of the same before we move on to now the highlights of the finance bill. Yes.
All right.
Just a foundation.
All right. Now, there are two specific regulations ambazo zinakuja for amendment in finance bill that maybe for today tungependa kuangazia ama tungeweza kuangalia kwa undani kidogo, and maybe you will help us tackle that. There is the communications bill, the communications amendment bill, which seeks to regulate, maybe we'll have it kwa slideshow before we go very far. We will have that on slideshow. We will take you through, and then uangalie all those things ambazo the government intends to do with the finance bill make sense, or maybe what is our view? What is our view?
What's our take?
What is our take? That is what I would like us to take after the break. Maybe we go for a short break, a breather kidogo, and then we make sure that we display that one for our consumption. Thank you very much.
Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect Data Networks, your trusted fiber internet service provider. Super fast speeds, reliable connections, flawless video, streaming and downloads anytime, anywhere. Need help? We've got your back. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Connect Data Networks, Nakuru's #1 choice for fast, reliable internet. Call us today on 073-098-8111 and get connected with the fastest internet in Nakuru. In Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect.
Thank you and welcome back to the Creative Town Hall meeting today, and our discussion today iko kwa Finance Bill 2025. Kando na hayo, ningependa pia tukue kwa mjadala online pale hashtag the Finance Bill 2025 and also the Creative Economy Bill 2025. Is it that correct hashtag? Yes, the Creative Economy Town Hall hashtag. Now, kwa haraka tu, ningependa tupitie this specific Gazette supplement. It is a bill and it is written 2022 May 2025. That is the day that this bill was presented for National Assembly. So we go to the next one. Maybe this is the name of the bill is the Kenya Information Communications Amendment Bill of 2025, and the act reads, it's an act of Parliament to amend the Kenya Information and Communications Act, enacted by Parliament of Kenya as follows. The act may be cited as, now that one, the Section 2. The Section 2 of the Kenya Information and Communications Act is amended in the definition of telecommunications operation by inserting the word and includes internet service providers immediately after the expression of Section 79. Ninaenda pole. Now, the Section 27A of the Principal Act to amend by inserting the following new subsections immediately after subsection 3B. Now, the 3B after that is 3C. And an internet, it goes further to explain what an internet service provider is. So an internet service provider shall operate a meter billing system which shall, number 1, assign to each customer a unique and identifiable meter number. So this is a bill that seeks to amend the Information and Communications Act. And it is specifically to the internet service providers. Internet service providers will be required by law to assign to each customer a unique and identifiable meter number. So kama wewe kwako uko na umepewa service na maybe him Mawendo has given you a meter also kwa nyumba which is readable. And then number 2, and B, monitor customer usage. Number 1, monitor customer usage. And then C, convert customer usage into readable detail. Maybe you understand that it is to convert customer usage into readable detail. And then D, create invoices based on consumption. And lastly, allow for user verification of invoices. Subsection 3D an internet service provider licensed under this act shall submit to the authority at least once in every financial year information on the billing system, including internet meter numbers issued to subscribers. I want us to pause to that bit. And the reason why we are pausing to that bit is I want us to analyze this section 3, subsection 3. Yes. And then we look at it from 3C. And maybe have a comment or an understanding, a rough idea of what that is all about. Wakili, help us in deducing what this finance bill is saying.
So this is it's actually the Kenya Information and Communications Bill. I think you can go just one page back. The next page. The next one. Usually, a bill usually has a glossary which explains what's the purpose of the subject bill. So I believe the amendment herein is to describe who is an internet provider, first of all.
Yes.
And also to include the issue of billing. I believe as at the moment, the Kenya Information and Communications Act does not have an inclusion of the issue of billing. I believe now this is what is called now the Big Brother effect, probably whereby the government wants to have a hand on the internet service providers in regards to now them having to be able to assign each customer a unique and identifiable meter number. I believe you've said there are some people who are tech savvy and who are also ISPs herein. They can explain to us probably, as at the moment, do they usually have a meter number, or is it a foreign thing as at the moment? From the members of the audience.
Even maybe for the consumers. Yes. Kwa ile maybe wewe mwenye umeprovidiwa maybe a router or something, do you have a specific meter number? Do you? Maybe it's contentious, there is yes, there is a no somewhere.
Yeah. So
yes.
I think this amendment seeks now to ensure that they can be able to monitor the customer usage. They can be able to convert the customer usage into readable details for purposes of tracking. I believe all this is all about tracking.
Maybe to pose a question even to all of us, is the data that we use today, is it readable maybe by the service provider? Yeye anaweza ezana kukuambia that you have Googled this and this and this and this for the entire year. Is it maybe to the service providers or maybe an IT person mwenye yako hapa? Is it possible? Samuel, maybe a microphone. We issue to him. Is it possible to tell what I have Googled for the entire year as a service provider, you as a service provider?
As a service provider, the moment you are connected to the internet,
yes.
One, we can have your information, all the bank accounts you have accessed, all the sites you have accessed, or anything, the location. So on the back end, we see everything you do.
Okay. Now you understand, yeah? Now you understand from where we are coming from. How, in relation to the existing laws on privacy, is it acceptable? Is it something that maybe the law speaks about, or is it a bit silent?
Now, in relation to that, it's actually a double-edged sword. In the age that we are actually living in, there's a specific publication by a lady known as Nanjala Nabola. It's called Digital Democracy and Analog Politics, whereby she tries to see the strain that is there between the adoption of technology and also the fact that politics in itself takes a while to pick up in itself. So in this situation, in this digital world that we live in, we have given ourselves so much over to our virtual selves. We all have our handles, we all have our lives in the virtual space. We believe that that is also an important factor in the sense that it is a world in itself. The issue of regulation will take a bit of time for it to be able to build up the regulations in regards to the same. So as per our constitution, Article 31, yes, we are entitled to our privacy. But at what extent? At what extent do we, is our information, can it be used? To what extent do we have it being protected? So it's a catch-22 situation in that sense, Mose.
Okay, as we proceed, maybe there is a catchphrase somewhere. Maybe we go to number 4, the 5th schedule. Yeah, I think it is the same. The 5th schedule to the Principal Act is amended, inserting the following paragraph. Maybe you take me to the next one. Is it, maybe take me page 1, please? Page 1. Page 2. Next one. Yes, there was somewhere where the internet service provider is supposed to give to the government the data of every other person that he's providing internet to, that every other year, every financial year, he's supposed to give, like, unaona venye tuna filingi returns. Venye tuna filingi returns, una file returns ya wale watu wenye umeprovidea data, their data and their meters for the, to the government. Now, in relation to what we were discussing about, nikuuliza that how safe is our data with the government? That is also another question. How safe is our data? For example, maybe you are a civil society member. You have your tree, you have your communications tree, you have the way you communicate to different persons. How safe are you if the government wants you? And in the event that they provide certain data, is it admissible even in court if you are taken to court that on this day uliambia watu waende mgomo contrary to section 2A of some other act that person doesn't know? How safe are we?
As I've said that earlier, this is a very new, it's a new venture also for the government in itself to take up as well. On the issue of data, the Data Protection Act has come in place in order to assist on how we can be able to, the different institutions or the government or individuals can be able to use the said data. Now, it comes back now to the issue of who has information. You have informed us that that data can be able to be accessed. So the government or the powers that be might be able to take action in regards to the same. And also to come back to this, in the Finance Bill 2025, in relation to actually this, the same thing, the commissioner of the KRA is proposing or is to be empowered to be able to share, to instruct people to share their trade secrets and customer data.
Trade secrets?
Trade secrets and customer data.
So you are supposed to surrender yourself?
Yes.
Or are they fishing it?
Ideally, in compliance, in their pursuance of compliance of your tax obligations, This finance bill under the Tax Procedures Act, initially under the Tax Procedures Act, the commissioner was not able to request for the same. But in this one, there is a proposal to remove that restriction, whereby it will empower the commissioner to access trade secrets and customer data in relation to anything. So you see also there's another fork in the road using this, the Kenya Information and Communications Act.
So that one is maybe being intertwined also with that one, or whatever the commissioner is saying.
Yes,
it is being intertwined now with this again.
This one as well.
There is a video I want us to look into, or you have something to say? Sammy, kindly assist me with that microphone. Someone needs to say something. But before you make that concern, I want you to watch this video. It is from an advocate also who has been online and also trying to commission and trying to caution every other person about these, all these things about data. Kindly can you play for us that video? Listen. No, not that one. Not that one. Now, Naisenya is saying even your ex will be accessing everything that Bwana Naisenya is trying to be cheeky kidogo. Now, Wakili,
yes,
to my understanding, even the even influencers, even bloggers, that bill, the communications bill, wants even bloggers to do a registration. You understand where we're coming from?
I understand.
So before maybe we proceed, there was someone with a concern, maybe a suggestion, a question. Karibu.
My name still remains to be Muna from Nakuru County. However, the lady has spoken just what I wanted to speak about data protection. Because we have the Data Protection Act that is supposed to protect all our information. But at this point, with where we are heading, it seems like they're going to violate the same act that we fought so much to ensure that most of our information are protected. Like, for example, we, the civil society and human rights defenders, share a lot of very sensitive information. And at this point, I feel that our information, which are supposed to be private...
How sensitive?
Very sensitive, eh? So I wonder how safe are we when we allow this bill to pass? Maybe just, I'm not an incitement, but just asking myself, how safe are we going to be if we allow this bill to pass? Because personally, I will not be comfortable anymore now to share any information via any social media, whether in WhatsApp, whether in email. You see, because already kama service provider wangu atakuwa, it's not coercing him to share my personal information.
Actually, it is not coercing. It will be his obligation now that every other once in every financial year he's supposed to provide that information. So it will not be if this bill passes, it is not even about coercion. It is about your responsibility to the authority.
But that will be in one way itakuwa anatumia kama force, but using a force through a law. Siju kama wakili unanielewa, they'll be using a force through a law which if sisi kama citizen tukinyamaza ikipita, we are the same people tutakuwa tunaumia.
Wakili,
yes,
what is your take? Maybe from whatever Madam Muna said.
As I was saying, the issue is that the adoption of technology in this age has brought about that issue of how much we can be able to share. Even when Muna, you say that utaacha kushare, you can't stop using WhatsApp, you can't stop using TikTok, you can't stop using anything. We can't stop doing all that.
Maybe in future we are going back to smoke signals now.
We can't go back there. We can't go back there. Hence why there's those issue, ukiangalia kama the Cambridge Analytica.
Yes.
Issue
yes.
Kama the Cambridge Analytica issue, whereby kuna targeted ads. There have been targeted ads, especially kwa the US election. Also our election, some of our elections, they had been used to push that issue. So our information is what is actually our use of technology is what's bringing this the situation whereby our data can be able to be used. So the thing is going back to also the ISP. Can we be able to control the ISPs, them not being able to issue these issues?
Maybe even you see, the reason why this law will be there, I think it is also to give their, it is to give them space that if I produce this information in court, if I'm suing a certain person, then the question of admissibility will not be there.
True.
How you acquired this information. How you fished this information, it will not be, there will be no objection
to the same
whatsoever.
Because it will be codified as well that they were supposed, you are obligated to give this information.
Is there any law that supersedes the Constitution? Is there any law that supersedes the Constitution? What does the Constitution say in Article 31, Wakili?
The right to privacy.
And
privacy.
Are we contravening the Constitution? Will they be contravening the Constitution if they pass this bill?
Clearly, they'll be contravening the same, because it will be issue of professional ethics that will come up in play, and also the issue of your data. There are some trade secrets. For example, going back to the issue of now in compliance with the Tax Procedure Act in itself. You see, it will negatively impact the fundamental rights of the business environment, your professional ethics. For example, you're dealing with clients. Such information has to be kept confidential. So such a bill in itself and such inclusions in the finance bill would be detrimental to that, I believe.
Thank you very much. Maybe we have another input, another question somewhere. Kindly. Also introduce yourself. Karibu sana.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening once again. Thank you very much for the opportunity to ask a question or to give my comment. But first of all, if I can stand, sorry guys. First of all, I think I want us to get a clarity from your end, Moses, on what exactly are we doing today here? Are we just discussing it? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think this thing was closed on the 27th of May. Are we just discussing to consume, are we discussing to actually either give a verdict from where we stand on whether we agree with what they've put there as a bill, or what else are we supposed to be doing, or to what gain? You get? I want us to discuss that. Maybe Wakili can also help. But also, I think on this particular issue, the lady you played the clip, is it Naisenya? I think Naisenya has given us a very good guide. And I think the more we try to dissect and understand further, better than Naisenya, we point or introduce a gray area. She has actually put it very clear that the intention of this bill is particularly for, number one, they want to raise the revenue, for sure. The country needs money, and we are not against the country raising their revenue. We need money for a number of things. Number two, we must also not be blind to the fact that there is an end game to this particular bill. They want to access your data illegally, as my friend said, legally. You cannot forcefully access my data illegally or legally. At the end of the day, if they put it as law, then it will not be illegal and it will not be forceful. It will be law. We know the law is in us. So at the end of the day, we can have one bill that protects, or rather one act that protects your privacy. But the same constitution can have another act for apparently different reason altogether that it can give access to your data. So this can pass, and there can be that conflict in the constitution. But depending on whatever the case will be when Wakili goes to court, they will quote whichever act they want to quote for that particular purpose. So it's upon us to say, do we agree with it or do we disagree? Because if we let them go, they will actually sail with it. And they're up to something. I can tell you the government is not up to any good. At the end of the game, we have an election coming up. They know what the young men and girls have decided, what they will be doing on the very day of election. So this is something that is being sneaked in to counter you. You have no idea, but they're countering you in advance. And if you don't deal with it now, they will get you on the day of election. So let's be very clear on what's going on. Let's be clear what we want to pass, because personally, I think it is wrong, it is not right, because the main objective is not necessarily the revenue. The main objective is to gag us, to ensure we don't speak when they do wrong, to ensure that we don't actually stop them from carrying out their atrocities. The other thing I'd want to, maybe if I can go back to the other issue that we just talked about, the government is free to raise funds. But we must be very clear on where we stand. Let's not give them space. I would wish, as we go along, please guide us to that direction of actually stating what do we stand for in this bill. Are we for it or against it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. Thank you very much. To react maybe to this question, what is the end game? Baraza Media has provided a platform for us to air out our views, to give our inputs. And after this, we will be doing our resolution in form of a memoranda. And when all this is documented, we give it upstairs to the leadership of Baraza. And then after that, they will issue a memorandum to the National Assembly. So after this, all this what we are doing today, it is not in vain. The collection of all your views is not in vain. It shall be channeled upstairs. And then today there was also another meeting in Kisumu for Baraza about the same. Yesterday there were two, in Nairobi one and another one in Mombasa. So whatever we are doing here today, it is not in vain. Trust you me. Thank you for that. Wakili?
And also to echo you, Moses, as you can see, the theme of the congregation here will be how the finance bill impacts the creative work. It actually impresses how it impacts the creative work. Being a creative space, that is also an important part. And as you have clearly said, that the most important thing is bringing about the issue of, we have the finance bill. How does it affect it? So we have spoken about the issue of the internet, because most of our creative works are all within that sphere. So that's majorly, especially why we are discussing this same today.
So we
special interest in regards now to the internet and the space within the internet.
Also, as we continue, I continue reminding you that the conversation continues, and from all the platform, X, Twitter that is X, Facebook, follow us on hashtag Creative Economy Town Hall, and also hashtag Finance Bill 2025. Whoever wants to write something, there is this QR code also. Scan it for that conversation to continue. Yes, there is another question somewhere as we wind up on this particular bill on communications. Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Simon Moy. I'm from Nakuru Town East and a resident of Menengai Ward. I reside at Kiratina. That is my area. I'm also an aspirant for the coming general election, that is for 2027, as an MCA of Menengai Ward. Maybe just to give some input and also some trajectory. The issue of the internet and data protection, and the introduction of the tax code, and I think the issue of taxing. I think it's they are looking to tax the creative industry on the matter of the finance bill that is coming through. It's coming soon. It's only to do a gagging or stopping. There are some things which maybe the leaders are fearing. They're being so much exposed. And the people who are exposing this is the young generation. The best thing or the good thing is that these young people are learned. And there will be no any sense of taxing the issue of data and the internet, while we are not seeing the creativity part of the money that is going to the KRA, going to the government. And one thing that maybe amazes me, Kenya as a country is a country that has been vested with a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities. The youthful age is giving this economy an increase in the economy. But now the problem that comes in, it's not the issue of we are lacking resources, we are lacking ideas. It is the issue of the rule of law. If we can be able to work so much and also be able to follow the rule of law, we can be able to thrive very well in matters of economy. So mine will be about if we are taxing the Kenyans, depending cutting across in whichever sector, the only thing that they can do is be able to mitigate the issue of corruption and also having the passion to the rule of law. If we follow the rule of law without impartiality, then this country, nobody will even feel the pinch of the introduction of the taxes, introduction of any bill that pertaining the attraction of the stability of the economy. So Kenya, we are not doing the reinventing of Kenya. We just want people to follow the law so that can be able to merge and can be able to thrive well to each and everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause also. Tumpigie makofi. Asante. Yes. Yes, sir.
Just to top up, we started by looking at how much or how it will affect the creative economy. And you can tell that they're introducing a lot of taxes that will actually now mean that your revenue will either go down, number one, because you have to factor in that, or your clientele will not be as good because now people will feel like it's more expensive. But also, we'll ask the government, while you're quick to tax us, which we do not necessarily say no to, why are you very slow in addressing what my boy here alluded to? Why are they extremely slow addressing corruption? Just the other year, we had President Ho us that we are losing 2 billion per day. Why would they not go for 2 billion that we are losing daily, which translates to almost 780 billion in a year? So what we are looking for from the creatives that will reduce that loss. Already we've lost 750 billion. Why won't they quickly go there, sort that mess, and then tell us in the next 2 years, we will now come for this taxation after you found value in what we are losing. We must put the government on toes. Thank you.
That is to the political class. We clap for engineer. Thank you. The greatest concern, mostly, sometimes we are trying to juggle in between, is the taxation and theft.
True.
Taxation and theft. It is okay to be taxed. It is not okay to be stolen.
Very true.
Now, engineers talking about a day when President Uhuru Kenyatta, former president, said that we're losing 2 billion shillings a day. Now, how much will you collect from the creatives? How much will you collect from the creatives? If whatever you will collect from the creatives is lesser than that, then first of all sort out the issue of 2 billion shillings per day. Maybe it's a question to all of us that when you get there, we have people who are seeking elective positions. It is upon them to make sure that we don't lose as much. There is one last question that one last video that I want us to look at. When you look at that bill, there is somewhere where they say that you will be paying. The consumption of internet will be as per the meter. You understand what I'm saying? It is as per the meter. Maybe we go to that video whereby a certain politician from our neighboring country asked, where do datas go? Where do datas go? Play for us that one. Now, to the advantage, ndugu zangu majirani wanauliza kwa nini bundles zinekwisha? Na kwa nini bundles zinekwisha? Maybe this bill seeks to give this solution. Kwa sababu kama utakuwa unalipa as per your usage, ni makosa. Kama utakuwa unalipa you have a meter at home, stima si tunalipa na usage. Si maji tunalipa na usage. Wakili, kama tutalipa bundles na usage, mbona tusipitishe that bill? Maybe it's also a concern also.
But I think hiyo tunaona boils down to capitalism. Bundles tutalipia tu bado. Hiyo tutalipia. The major issue ni information yetu. Information yetu ambayo iko pale ndani ndio the major cause of concern.
So this might be a bait.
This might be a bait in itself to regulate. As Naisenya has just put it over, as I had mentioned earlier, it's a big brother move. You need to, the powers that be need to keep an eye on what is actually going on. And this is the only way that you can be able to do it. Because even if you say that to the internet, see, people will just have VPNs.
Yes.
People just move forward also. So the only way to counter it probably is to let the ISP actually give them the data.
Ah, okay. It is a very big conversation, and maybe as we move away from it, is there any other person who has an input, a question? Thank you. Oh, there's someone at the back there. Kindly help me with that microphone. Come a little bit forward, kidogo tu.
Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Vincent, and I think even as we discuss the implication of data privacy, I think we still have a safeguard in our constitution, as it does not allow to share data to a third party. So I think that can be a fail-safe that we need to protect. So I think even as we discuss this, there is need for us to be able to protect the gains that we already have. For a person to access my data, there is a procedure that has been put to ensure that no unauthorized person shares my data in a way that is not accordant to the law. So for, let's say, Safaricom to share, let's say, my personal data, they have to seek the court authorization for them to acquire the data. The same applies to KRA. If they want to access my data from a third party, they must be able to seek the court authorization. So there is no way the KRA can access my bank account without my authorization, because that will be against the law. So there is no way that, even if they are saying that to be allowed, I think that is, they are just being cheeky because they know it is not possible. A bank cannot share personal information unless these are a court order. Unless we override that, that will become easy for person to share data. But as long as we have the current legal regime, it is not possible for a person to share data. They can share it illegally, but that does not make them, let's say a bank shares my data. Let's say I've not been paying taxes, for instance, and they acquire my data illegally. That cannot be administered in court. So they cannot use that evidence to be able to compel me to pay taxes, for instance. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tupigie makofi. The conversation is bring on very nicely. Now, I think, Wakili, the greatest concern is data.
True.
My data, how safe is my data? If the bill will seek to expose my data, that is where the bond of contention is. As we proceed, the second bill that we will be checking out is the creative bill. The creatives bill, hapo ndipo wasanii wanasema wameingiliwa ndani, wamesema nao wasanii tunalipa taxes. I want us to look just an overview of it, and we have prepared something here, and maybe you can check it out. Someone is here with me. Now, this is the proposed amendment on the creative economy, And the bill seeks to redefining royalty income to expanding what counts as digital marketplace. These changes propose new rules for software subscription, streaming services, online work, and digital lending. For an industry already navigating uncertainty and a lot of maybe not very strong enough, that is what this bill seeks to do. So maybe for a start, what is a marketplace? Maybe wakati tunafanyanga wakili, what is a marketplace as per this bill?
I believe this is in line with the finance bill, Moses. I believe it works the same way. The Finance Bill 2025 seeks now to expand what is a marketplace. Since now the digital space has grown to that level, they seem to seek that it must be able to generate revenue, and it generates a lot of revenue. Therefore, the bill in itself at the moment seeks to be able to tax revenue from the same.
Does it mean that marketplace, to define marketplace kama wale watu ambao wanafanya online marketing, wale watu wenye wanafanya, wenye wanauza commodities online, if you have maybe a printing shop, exactly, and you're selling your shirts or your shirts online, is that a digital marketplace?
That is a digital marketplace.
That is number one. And then number two is redefining royalties. Yeah? And you proposed expands the definition of royalty. Royalty to include subscription-based software distribution, meaning tools like Adobe Suite or Final Cut Pro may now be taxed under withholding tax. We understanding this. What is the end game of maybe engaging in this kind of taxation?
As we have said, see, this is a new space. The new space has to have regulations in regards to the same. So I think by the finance bill itself, it seeks now to bring about a definition to expand the issue of royalties. Now, the bill proposes to expand the definition of royalty to include transaction relating to the distribution of software, where regular payments are made for the use of software through the distributor. For example, now this, for example, Adobe Suite or Final Cut Pro. It seeks to widen the scope of that transaction. Basically, that will give rise to a royalty. So royalty payments are subject to withholding tax. So for example, you are a professional. When you sell something or you are issuing out a service, you as an individual, for example, I'm a professional. I'm giving out professional service. When you're supposed to pay me for that service, you're supposed to withhold a tax, a withholding tax in itself. You see,
mostly it is at 16%.
16%, yes, in itself. Withholding tax has different rates, differences of different things. So royalty, in the same way, has that thing. So the government, through this proposal, seeks now, when you are selling or when you are reselling, you are a distributor of some of these programs, you are entitled to withhold tax, and withholding tax for knowledge purposes, you actually pay it On the point of payment, you withhold the same, then pay it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Let us check on this one. For those people who do live streaming, this amendment proposes that any sale made over the internet and an electronic network or through digital marketplace could be subject to VAT. No. There is this one. Selling your art, course, or merchandise online, you are now operating in a taxable marketplace. That is it. And then whether it is music, whether it is your online courses, if you are offering online courses, that is what you are trying to explain.
To explain.
Okay.
And actually, in regards to this, there was a case, income tax appeal number 8 of 2027, whereby this proposal is in direct conflict with that authority, in the sense that in that case, 7Cs Technologies Limited versus the Commissioner of Domestic Tax. Now, a brief history of the same is that the High Court ruled that the purchase of software for resale does not give rise to a royalty to the extent that the software reseller does not acquire the rights himself to commercially exploit the software. You, as a reseller of it, do not acquire the rights to own it, you see. So you're just selling it.
So you are just a retailer.
Just a retailer, you see. So you're not supposed to be included within the tax. Within that tax.
Oh,
bracket,
okay,
yes.
okay.
So it will be in contradiction to that authority.
Now, what is the solution here? Maybe as per the conversation, what is the solution? Is it to proceed with it, or is it to encourage and zero rate it for some time? Or what is the end game now?
As per that authority as well, because the authority itself, us as Kenya, we were part of an international convention. That international convention is for the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Model Tax Convention on Income and Capital, which stipulates that software distributors only make payment to the acquired copies of the copyrighted software.
Okay.
And do not exploit the copyright embedded in the software to give rise to a royalty payment. So, following that, we have already ratified the same thing. We've already ratified the same. So it is in direct contravention of the same.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it should be zero rated for, it should be actually zero rated.
Now, maybe a question to our viewers and a question to us all. Ni nani ambaye anafanya, kama unafanya anything online, kama wewe ni YouTuber, kama wewe ni unafanya online marketing, kama wewe ni blogger, what is your take on this? What is your take on this? If by any chance, yes, we have maybe a suggestion somewhere.
I think the implication of adding taxes to a digital platform, it means that me as a consumer, I'll be able to pay more, because what the proprietors will do will pass the burden to the consumer. So the implication is, if these taxes are able to pass, it will mean the final consumer will be able to bear the burden for the increased taxes, which is not good, because currently our fiscal space is constricted, meaning that the business is, the economy is in dire place, and many people cannot be able to afford service. So meaning if I'm able to pay more, it means it has an implication on my budget as a consumer, because I'll be able to pay more on services that I ordinarily access on less amount. So for me, I think the taxing of digital space is good, but then again, we have a procedure that need to be followed. Our tax policy says that the burden should be spread evenly. So even if you are taxing a person in a digital space marketing, ensure that that person is able to pay and there's no burden, there's no extra burden that is being passed to that person. If you are deducting my profit and the margin is not high, it means I'm able to pay and everyone is able to pay. But if the margin is high, it affects the overall budget that I have, and that is problematic for most of the consumers.
All right. We clap for him. Another input? Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. First of all, my name is Patrick Kinyo Prince. I run together with my colleagues here this platform that you call Nakuru Television Network. So this particular proposal to now add VAT to streaming services is going to hit us right smack in the face. But maybe before I give my opinion, because I'm also opinionated about that particular subject, allow me to acknowledge the viewers who are watching us live.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Remember, this is also Nakuru Tusemezane. We partnered with Baraza Media Lab to bring this to our viewers.
Yes.
To just have an honest conversation about what is really going on. And I'm so happy about the turnout. I'm so happy about everyone that came here today and the people who are following us live. I can see Sami Gito. Sami Gito says, I'm following live. I've seen Meso saying live and direct. Asante sana for tuning in. We have MC S01E08. Nice conversations and very educative. Asante sana. We have another one saying, they say information is power. Thank you, Baraza Media Lab and Nakuru TV for this forum.
Thank you.
Nakuru Trends wanasema it's for change. Kama ni sasa hivi. Asante sana, Nakuru Trends. This forum is too enlightening and educative. Asanteni sana. Amadi Kahero following, very educative. Meso says the government just wants to gag us, nothing as collecting tax. Reject Finance Bill 2025.
That is true.
Some of the varied opinions for the viewers who are watching us on Facebook. Remember, you can follow us on all social media platforms. We have Nakuru TV existing on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all those platforms. And this conversation is being streamed live kila mahali.
Okay.
So about that particular proposal to now tax live streaming and all these affiliated services, my opinion is that the end consumer of the services that we provide are the ones who are going to suffer. This is why. Now, if I have to now give 15%, or whatever percentage they've suggested as tax, it means this particular cost component is going to be pushed down to the consumers who consume our services. Remember, we are trying to make Kenya a bigger economy. We are trying to also look for online jobs, which also implies if I'm a professional, if I'm a video professional operating in Nakuru, Kenya, and I have a client who is based in the US and they want me to edit their videos, part of the proceeds of the money that I get, the government wants a percentage out of it. So what does that portend? It means my income as a professional will have to share with government, okay? And we are also in a very competitive space, the online space, where I'm also bidding for that same assignment with another professional in Brazil, another professional in Senegal. And in most of these platforms that we use, when you get such an assignment, it has a fixed value to it. So you're told you are going to edit a 2-hour video. This is the going rate, and it's X. So my X that I'm supposed to now get is X minus a certain percentage. So it's going to really affect us. And so it's good that we are having these conversations. Asante sana for bringing this, and it's important that we have a lawyer there to help us also understand some of these terminologies. Asanteni sana. Remember to follow Nakuru TV across all platforms. You could also share the questions hapo, and then perhaps maybe our panelists, before we leave, will be able to respond to them. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. We clap for him. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Patrick. as we continue, there are all these questions that you are having in mind right now. Kama ni hiyo digital marketplace, how much are you expected to pay, and what is the percentage of it? In the event maybe nina compete online, ninauza hii shati, what will make me buy a shirt at 3,000 online without even delivery? And then there is another one, hapo kwa neighbor hapo anauza shati hapo tu kando yangu, anauza 3,100. So this one yenye bado hata sijaona, it is at 3,000. And then the other one that maybe yenye nikiingia hapo kwa shop ninaiona, it is at 3,100 or 3,200. So you will go for the one that you can walk in and go home with, instead of you waiting for this one that you're purchasing online. So how okay is this competition ya online na zile ambazo zile duka ambazo ziko existing physically? So all these questions are maybe at the back of every person's mind on the viability of this digital marketplace taxation. That is, it is wide enough to allow us even to think on mimi kama mtu wenye ninafanyanga online, kazi ingine nitatafuta or what? So wakili, all this question, where do we head, or where do we go?
So, and that's why we are having these conversations, Moses, for us to be able to comment in regards to the same. Because the tax regime or a tax policy, it involves us. It's an involving process. And that is why we are having this conversation.
And nobody is refusing to pay taxes.
And no one is refusing to pay taxes. I think that is quite clear from everyone. No one is refusing to pay taxes.
Okay.
The only thing is that, yes, this is an opportunity that we have been given, that we are living in an era that we can be able to virtually, because even if you say that tutaacha kufanya huko kwa hizo spaces huko nje pia ni
it's still bad.
It's still bad as well. It's still bad as well.
Mm-hmm.
So hii ni wameona ni it's a space where iko unregulated, seriously unregulated. Mm-hmm. That is why we have to continuously being able to discuss the same, have that conversation in order to be able to reach something that is amenable to all.
All right.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Wakili, for your inputs. Thank you also for helping us dissect all these finance bill. Maybe anybody with something else to say? Someone, any professional here, media practitioner somewhere? Yes? Yes. As we wind up, we are almost winding up. So yeah, it's okay. And then after...
Thank you once again, the panelists, and also to our participants, attendees who are here, as I had earlier contributed. And maybe just to do some input on the same. The creative industry, if you look at, if you go to the internet and you try search the magnitude of the economy that the creative industry is holding, you'll find it is more than 2 billion. Just check on it, you'll be able to find it. But now, the government is coming with the imposing of the new tax to the creative industry, because there is a loophole which they have seen, and that is why they are coming in. Maybe my advice maybe to the government and also the lawmakers, what maybe they can be able to do is try also to do education. The creative industry doesn't have a problem for them imposing on introducing the bills or the tax. But the only thing is, if they get this money or they get these funds, the best is to reintroduce it back to the industry. Try to improve or come up, create the studios for the youths, because it will be so bad. For example, if I say that the matatu industry currently, they're the biggest, the major contributor to the economy of this country. But the roads are very, very dilapidated. So the matatu industry is feeling so pinched that I'm paying tax through the fuel industry, the fuel levy, but at the end of the day, the roads are not being done well. So you find the roads are very shoddy, the roads are not passable. And at the end of it, their cars, the motor vehicle get up being spoiled. So at the end of it, it gives another cost to the matatu industry. The same, the youth, the creative industry, the pinch that we'll be having is they have taken money from us, but now reinventing or taking it, bringing it back to the economy so that it helps create more opportunity. It is where the problem comes in. So this is the major thing that maybe if they can be able to, yes, they'll bring it, but the best is to bring it back so that we see its involvement. Point number 2, as I wind up, now that, for example, for me, I'm in the industry, entertainment industry. I'm an MC by profession. So you find that when I have a Rorashio, then the Kanjos will be at the venue waiting for me. Yes, they'll be waiting for me. Immediately the client pays the last deposit. Then you'll be like, Moi, we also need a percentage. So what I'm seeing, and in future, this is what we are going to endure, that we'll be forced to have business licenses. Me as MC Moi Events and Entertainment, I'll be forced to have the county, that is the county license to allow me operate. I'm imagining that I'm going for a ratio for my friend here, Mawendo, and immediately I'm in the ground, I'm being told, give the 10% or 15%. If I don't give that, then they'll handcuff me to their cars, to the police station. Now the client will be like, what is happening? So the client will not be able to tell me, oh, you know, he will want me to do the delivery. And what the client will do, he will take me to court because I have not done the delivery. So we are called upon the government that they should not impose, they should not bring this new tax to the creative industry. What they should do now is go out and try to educate the creative industry, especially the youth, so that they know they know their mandate is this. When everybody understands why we are being taxed, then I will not feel any pinch when I'm being taxed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We clap for MC Moi. There is something that Moi is, I don't know whether I have understood Moi, is saying that if the creatives are being taxed, then let there be maybe a form of fund that is also coming back to them in form of maybe infrastructure for creatives, maybe studios, just like the fuel levy takes care of the roads. So it's also an input. Someone was having a concern there, and then we come to you. Yes?
I think my concern is
Honor.
How we normally do our taxes.
Don't go. It's okay.
Basically because we have a tax policy that says the tax we impose should be predictable, in that it should not be subject to changes every now and then. So the aspect of changing, coming up with a tax law every year is not good because it is not predictable. So I think finance bill is not necessarily we have it each and every year. We can have a period of 5 years, we use one finance bill and then we change it as the situation demands. But the aspect of having it each and every year is problematic because it is not predictable. Taxes should be predictable.
Okay.
And we have a national policy that guides on tax imposition. So I think if we need to change how we tax, we need to be predictable.
Okay.
And also the aspect of equity. Tax people who are able to pay, not to ensure that everyone pays. Currently we have 3 million taxpayers who pay taxes, who file returns. But registered taxpayers are about 19 million.
Okay.
Meaning, most of the people don't pay taxes because they evade taxes because it is expensive. Make it cheaper, everyone will pay, and then the government will achieve the goal of revenue. So I think That is my take.
Oh, all right. We clap for him. Maybe as we proceed, the question is, there is someone who has something to say?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Njeri and I have a question. Maybe for guys who are joining the conversation right now, are getting to learn about or know what's happening in the finance bill and the information and communication bill. So number one question is, as citizens, with regards to the finance bill, having reliably heard that the public participation was closed on the 27th of May, how can we plug in for someone who is catching up to this conversation now?
Mm-hmm.
And then number two is this Kenya Information and Communications Bill 2025. Are we at the public participation stage, or what is the impact of this discussion that we're having here? Are we having a discussion and yet the matter has already gone for reading, waiting to be assented? Like, what's the status? Like, are we, yeah.
Okay. Wakili, you have captured both questions.
Yes.
Maybe Wakili will help us.
Now, in regards to the plug-in itself, as I've said, the finance or the finance bill in itself, there's a number of readings in relation to the same. And as opposed to the finance bill, there's also the appropriations bill in itself. As much as our comments have already been made, we should, on how the taxes are going to be taken, we also have a mandate also to know how our taxes will be used. So our comments, our memoranda will be highly influential as they move on during the different stages of the bill in itself. In reaction to the Kenya Information and Communication Bill, it's a bill at the moment, and as well, our memorandum will also assist in the same. As industry players, do we have what is our take on the same in regards to the same bills, and has been raised all through? Yes.
Okay. Maybe you have another concern?
Yes. 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 Yes, you can do the same individually as well as you can do the same individually and write to the clerk of the National Assembly as an individual or as a group or as a sector. Yes.
Is it the same platform that the lady who was arrested the other day?
Yes.
Is it through the same platform that you can write an email to the National Assembly in the Finance Committee?
What the lady had was a tracking application in itself.
Okay.
What she's asking is if she can do a memoranda itself, write down, this is what I think.
Individually?
Okay. Individually, you may. You write it to the clerk of the National Assembly and send it to him. They can take it the same.
Maybe so far.
Yes.
Not a question maybe to you, the panelist, maybe to the viewer at home and everybody who is present today. So far, basing on those two bills that those two amendment bills that we've tackled today, are you for or for no Finance Bill 2025? You understand? Finance Bill ianguke ama ipite, basing on the two issues that maybe we have tackled today. It is a very sincere question that you should maybe answer by yourself, basing on the information that you have for the Finance Bill 2025.
And I must add as well, because there have been issues in regards to the Finance Bill, the issues that we have raised in regards to data, but in your own understanding, there are some issues which can have advantage using this, the Finance Bill. So through those comments of the document,
okay,
you have to look at it in a wholesome nature.
Okay.
This particular amendment has an issue. We can change that.
Okay.
Some other provisions can be can be fruitful in themselves.
There is someone who me and is asking me, if this communications bill passes, can it be declared unconstitutional after the finance bill is passed?
It can be declared unconstitutional. There are a number of acts which have actually been declared unconstitutional for myriad of reasons. For example, lack of public participation.
Okay.
You see, for example, there was a Contempt of Court Act which was passed a while back but was deemed unconstitutional. So the same can also meet the same fate.
But it wouldn't affect the entire finance bill?
It won't affect the entire finance bill.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wind up, I want to appreciate your presence this night and appreciate every other input that you've made. Special appreciation to Akili for allowing us to use your brain. Na unajua saa zingine intellectual property nalipiwangwa bwana. But since you have allowed us to use your brain and for us to have this conversation with you and giving your input, explaining issues to us and making us understand every other part of our conversation, we really, really appreciate your presence today. Other people I would wish to appreciate are our viewers from wherever you are watching us from, Nakuru TV, Facebook Live, Nakuru TV, TikTok, Nakuru TV, X platform. Thank you very much for following this conversation. And also for those who are tweeting through the hashtag Finance Bill 2025 and also the creative economy. Through all those two hashtags, I want to appreciate you and thank you very much for participating in today's conversation. Special appreciation also to Baraza Media Lab for allowing us to have this conversation within their promise and also for them coming up with this idea on how maybe we can give our views concerning the Finance Bill 2025. And even in future, as we proceed with it, we will come back to you and we will seek your views again and we will seek your inputs. Thank you very much, every other person who've watched us wherever you are, and God bless you and God bless our country 2025 as we proceed. Asanteni sana. God bless you. My name is Moses Kimori. Thank you for being with us in this conversation. Thank you.